What's going on, Shady people? Shady Penguin will be back for the final week of the regular season UCL team prep for your New York Mankeys. If you guys are excited, please show some Shady love to that thumbs down below. I'm really hyped because this is the last time we will be preparing in season 1 of the UCL. No matter what happens, this is the last time we're preparing until the playoffs. We might make it to playoffs. To be honest with you, everything's riding on this game because there is like a 4-way tie for third or second or something. I don't know. All I know is that if I lose, I'm pretty positive that the Mankeys are not going to make the playoffs. So our final opponent is the Carolina Keldeos, coached by JYT Gamer. Definitely go check his channel out. He's got some really cool rants. They're my favorite videos of his. He does rants and just random stuff, and he's sassy, and I love it so much. So his link is in the description. Go check him out. But he's our enemy this week, and I don't want to play any games. I want to just win. His possible lineup includes the following Pokemon: Sylveon, Zygarde, Victini, Fortress, Honchkrow, Blastoise, Mega Blastoise, Registeel, Golbat, Sneasel, Electabuzz, Primeape, and Ludicolo. Now, I'm not going to go over our 12, to be honest with you. Actually, you know what? Why the heck not? Let's just very quickly state our... No, we're not. You guys know our Mankeys by now. We're week 15. Well, you know what 12 we have, and you know what 6 we're going to bring. Or do you? You have to wait to find out. So, really quick, let's keep going over Zay's Pokemon. I said Zay because I'm thinking Zygarde, but Jay. Zygarde is Jay's biggest... it's the most threatening Pokemon on his team. This thing can sweep, set up a D-Dance, hold that Yachi Berry, can hold weakness policy, can hold something. It can just be offensive as anything. It has 100 base attack, really nice physical defense. So I want to hit it on the special side, to be honest. There are only like 30 points difference, but those 30 points can really matter. So I'm really planning for that Zygarde to come for sure. I think that Zygarde, Sylveon, and Victini are all coming. I think all 3 of those Pokemon. I also think he's going to bring Fortress. Fortress or Golbat. Maybe he'll bring Golbat instead. I actually hope he brings Golbat, but I feel like he's going to bring the Fortress. It was a little bit of a dagger for us, but it's got very low special defense, so Mayhem can kind of just get a Volt Switch off and do what it's got to do. The Honchkrow I could see coming. I definitely think Mega Blastoise is coming. I would say the 6 that I think Jay is going to bring: Sylveon, Zygarde, Victini, Mega Blastoise, Golbat, and potentially Registeel. I could see him bringing the Registeel. Now, to be honest, we have to build a team that can prepare for any of the Pokemon he brings. I mean, Sneasel's really fast. Electabuzz is base 105. Golbat is annoying. I used Golbat before, and it's a great Pokemon in my opinion. It's really great, but we have to bring a knockoff user because of that. So without further ado, let's jump into the 6 Pokemon that we built or that we're planning to bring this week against the Carolina Keldeos. So this is our 6, as you guys can see, or almost see all 6 of them. It's okay. You'll be surprised until you can't see the last one. Last 2 probably. But we're opening up with Toph. Choice Scarf Toph with Intimidate, of course. U-Turn, Earthquake, knockoff Stone Edge. We're bringing Stone Edge this time instead of Superpower. Fighting type doesn't hit too many things on my opponent's team. Really just the Registeel is the only thing it hits that I would want to hit with that move. But I see Golbat coming in a lot against Toph. Of course, we're going to want to hit a knockoff first, but then I want to hit him for super effective damage. I see the Honchkrow. Those are the only 2 Earthquake immunities that Jay has possible. It's Honchkrow and Golbat. So if we get rid of those, Choice Scarf, Landers can really do a lot of damage if we get rid of the Zygarde as well, because nothing else really wants to take an Earthquake. Fortress if he brings it, but I really don't think he's going to bring Fortress and Golbat, and I think he's going to opt for Golbat this time around. Maybe not because I have a Mayhem, but either way, I mean, Mayhem does like more damage to Fortress than Golbat, to be completely honest, because it has such booty special defense, and you can at least use Eevee like Golbat. So I'm not expecting Fortress, I'm expecting Golbat. So this is our Toph. Pretty standard. We're making him adamant because I don't see the reason to make him jolly because he's Choice Scarfed. If my opponent has certain Pokemon, I mean, if he Choice Scarfs his Zygarde, he would outspeed anyway. There's nothing on his team that if he Choice Scarfs it and then goes the beneficial nature that he's going to outspeed us. Like Ludicolo, I don't think outspeeds us even if it's jolly Choice Scarfed. I'll have to check, but I really don't think so. It's base 70, we're 91. So it would go to 85 and then 10%, so maybe it will. But I don't think he's bringing Ludicolo. I'm not really scared of that. If he brings Ludicolo, I have Mega Pinsir for that. Literally quick attack dead. So I'm not really too scared of that. This Toph, if we can get rid of the ground immunities in Honchkrow and Golbat, we can have some fun. And Knockoff is going to help us do that, and Stone Edge is going to help us hit both those Pokemon for super effective damage. So that's why we're going Stone Edge over Earthquake or anything like that, or Superpower. I mean, or Superpower, not Earthquake. He's obviously running Earthquake. Our next Pokemon is the beautiful Sakura here with the leftovers Marvel Scale. Don't need. He has no Intimidates. He does have a Defogger, so I'm tempted to run competitive, but I don't think it's worth in the long run. We're running Recover, Scald, Ice Beam, and Mirror Coat. I'm bringing the Mirror Coat because I feel like Mega Blastoise and Sakura are going to have a little bit of a standoff at some point, and Mega Blastoise can go for moves like Dark Pulse, and I want to fire off a Mirror Coat and pretty much one-shot it. That's why we're actually not running Special Defense on purpose. We're running Bold. We want to be physically defensive because we need to be able to combat the Zygarde, combat a Victini, which usually, they can be physical or special, but I feel like they're physical so you can take advantage of U-turn initiative. And then I was also Fortress wants to go for a Volt Switch on me at some point. I'm mirror coating something and it's going to do a decent amount of damage. So I really love Sakura. You guys know that she's been a crucial crush to us this entire season, putting in so much work with those scales. And I love Mirror Coat. The other option is that Mirror Coat obviously has an Electabuzz. If he brings that on a Volt Switch, I can take a Volt Switch from Electabuzz. I can actually take a Thunderbolt from Electabuzz as well and fire off a Mirror Coat. The only thing I really have to be careful of is that Honchkrow. If the Honchkrow comes in on the Mirror Coat, I'm dunzo funzo because it does check typing. It does check typing, which is a drag. At least for immunities. It'll still do double damage to Victini, which is fine. So I would never switch into Victini on my low tick anyway, but you know what I'm saying. I can see Sylveon coming in. Sylveon, we can take a Hyper Voice, Choice Specs if we're at full. Anything less than that, we're kind of done. I'm really scared of Sylveon, to be completely blunt with you guys. Sylveon is a huge threat to our team. I have to smack that thing with an Earthquake as soon as possible because that's really... I need to get rid of those flyers and then go back to top and then just fire off Earthquakes because it doesn't want to take an Adamant Earthquake. It really doesn't, especially if I have rocks up. You'll see later on, I do have someone that can use rocks. But our Sakura should be really good for us. Matches up really well. It can kind of stall out that Blastoise. I wish I had room for Toxic, but I really don't. I really need to run the Mirror Coat. So... it is what it is. Our next Pokemon is a classic, Savage, Mega Pinsir, Swords Dance, Quick Attack, Return, Close Combat. Not running EQ because we have Top for that. We are running Close Combat for that Registeel if he does bring it. Now, Registeel is super defensive, so I'd have to get a Swords Dance up first, and the potential to Thunder Wave me is there. So, the Registeel is going to be a pretty big problem for me. I wanted to try to find room for Infernape on this team, but it was really just for the Sneasel and the Registeel. So, it's not, like, super urgent. Then again, I could run Gunk Shot to also hit the Sylveon. But I don't think it's worth. I really don't think it's worth. So we're running Close Combat to hit the Registeel really, really hard. Everything else really goes down to Return. If I get the +2 Return, I pretty much sweep. I don't think Zygarde drops the +2 Return because it has pretty good defenses, but if we get some chip damage on it, we should be fine. Everything else I think drops the +2 Return. Yeah, except for Fortress. But Fortress, I'm not worried about. It's not an offensive Pokemon. It'll do what it's got to do. But this is our Mega Pinsir, super standard. Savage needs to come through yet again for us. Our next Pokemon is someone who hasn't been on the field in a while. We're bringing Legoer the Grand Ball with the Assault Vest. Has the Intimidate ability. It's missing 252 EVs, surprisingly, which I believe I'm actually going to put in HP. I'm gonna put those in HP. And 4 in defense. So we're running Adamant, max attack, max HP, and then 4 in defense. We're running the Assault Vest just because we can take some sort of hit if we have to. We have good natural bulk, 197 HP. Our defenses are pretty equal because of the Intimidate. If we switch into something, I should say, an Intimidate, a physically offensive mon. We have Play Rough, Fire Fang, Close Combat, and Ace Punch. So this Pokemon is really here to counter Zygarde. I can Intimidate it. They're usually always physical. Running moves like D-Dance or Coil or what have you. If it's the Coil set, we're going to be in a little bit more trouble. But I think if we switch in Intimidate it, it'll pretty much force a switch because Play Rough is going to hurt so much. Granted, I would love to go for Ice Punch, but we'd have to burn the Yachi Berry first because I know he's going to bring Yachi Berry. If we see that he's running Life Orb or something else, then I'll be so ecstatic because then Ice Punch can take him out. But Play Rough is going to be our go-to move. The only Pokemon he has that wants to take a Play Rough is the Registeel, and that's why we have the Close Combat as well. Registeel is going to be a big problem for us. Golbat also wants to take it, but we have Ice Punch for him, so I'm not too worried about Golbat. Our switch-in for Golbat anyway is Sakura. I really am starting to think that maybe I should run competitive, but we're not going to. Legoer is really versatile. It has great coverage. Play Rough hits a lot of things in my opponent's team hard. Really, the only thing that walls this Legoer, which now that I'm looking at it might be a little bit of a problem, is the Victini. I might actually have to go Earthquake instead of Close Combat. Granted, Fire Fang isn't going to do much of anything to Registeel, but I don't want to get walled by anything. I don't want him to figure out that he has a safe switch in. I think we have to go Earthquake. I don't want him to figure out that he's got a safe switch in Victini. I really don't. If we can get our rocks up and keep them up, we'll be fine. If we can get our rocks up and keep them up, we will be absolutely fine because Victini won't be able to switch in much anyway. So is it worth not running Close Combat? I mean, we have Mega Pinsir for Close Combat for the Registeel. We just need to get a Swords Dance up, and then I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know if it'll drop. I'll check right now. Let's do some damage calcs on the side. Let's do some damage calcs. Pincer to a Registeel. I feel like it's only gonna do like 60%. It does, okay, at +2 at one shot. All right. So our goal is to get rocks up and get Mega Pincer to +2 because I think even Zygarde, let's see how much did we do to Zygarde. Because return one-shot Zygarde, unless he's max HP old. Yeah, you'd have to be like max HP, max defense. If he has a coil up, that's a problem. Of course, that's a problem. So we can't let that happen. But if Savage sets up on something like the Golbat, something that can't status us, even I would be comfortable setting up against the Mega Blastoise. I would totally be comfortable with that. I granted we'd be risking a Scald Burn if he's not running, unless he's running Water Pulse to take advantage of Mega Launcher. But if we see Water Pulse, we don't see Scald, we're setting up a Mega Blastoise with Savage, 100%. Set up Swords Dance, everything else drops. The only thing that doesn't drop is the Fortress. So we have to wait till that thing's down. Fortress does not drop to a +2 return. It takes 96%. Oh my goodness, but we'll have to have a lot more damage on that first. If it even brings the Fortress. We're thinking that'll bring Golbat. How much do we do to a Golbat? Golbat with medium defenses drops to a return anyway. All right, awesome, sweet. So Mega Pincer is definitely our win condition for sure. It hits everything so very hard. He's gonna have to bring a Choice Scarf, or if he ever switches in like his Electabuzz, maybe he'll bring Sneasel too, who knows. For Sneasel, I might want to run Feint, but do I really think he's gonna bring Sneasel? If he brings Sneasel, Victini, and Golbat, we're gonna win with Stealth Rocks anyway, so I don't think that's too big of a concern. We always have Sakura for Sneasel. Sakura could take on Sneasel so easily, so I think we're gonna go ahead and just leave Quick Attack for that extra damage output. I think we're gonna need that. One time I went with Feint when I wasn't going up against someone with Ice Shard, and I was really upset. So we're gonna keep that Savage the way that it is. I'm sorry, I know I moved off of Legoer, but we're gonna go with Earthquake. I'm glad Registeel drops the +2 return. That is so good to know. That is so good. I'm never gonna get the +3, obviously. I mean, it could get a Moxie boost, but that's not gonna, we won't afford us the luxury of getting the +3 either way, unless he switches into Mega Blastoise to try to go for an Ice Beam, which that could take us out. Let's see. I feel like, you know, Mega Pincer has some good natural bulk, especially on the special side. He's got 90 special defense. Mega Blastoise, how much do you do with an Ice Beam? Okay, you one-shot, never mind. Well, we can't set up on you. I totally lied about that. I don't know who we're setting up on. Potentially Honchkrow, if he wants to go for Sucker Punches, but if he goes for a Brave Bird, we're Dunzo Funzo. We do have speed though, and we can easily one-shot that thing with a return. Man, Jay's got a lot of things that are weak to rocks. We just got to get rocks up and we're good to go. So with Legoer, I think we're gonna keep Earthquake. Registeel we'll just have to work on. That's totally fine. I'm okay with it. We'll scout it to see what kind of defenses it has if he brings it. And honestly, I know we're not running Superpower on you, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Stone Edge is great. Okay, so our next Pokemon is Mayhem the Jolteon. Expert Belt this time around with Volt Absorb, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Ice. Jay has 2 electric immunities in Zygarde and Electabuzz. So if he doesn't bring the Electabuzz, which would be really, really nice for us, because then my Savage can actually go in, we will be able to Volt Switch off as soon as we get rid of the Zygarde. We can just start Volt Switching and Thunderbolting. I'm not running Choice Specs because I need to be able to switch up my moves. As far as my spread goes, I'm actually running just enough speed to... Wait a minute. I thought it was supposed to be one... No, originally I was trying to run enough speed to outspeed Sneasel, but I needed to go timid instead of modest, and I really don't think I'm gonna need to do that. Like, I just don't think so. I don't think it's gonna need to happen. We can take care of Sneasel with Milotic, like I said. Legoer can even do his job, intimidate it, and force it out. So I'm not too worried about that. We have switch-ins, but I have enough speed here to outspeed, I think it was the Electabuzz. I outspeed the Electabuzz right now. Electabuzz caps out at 172, and we have 173. Let me just double check that right now, because last week I ended up finding a little bit of errors during the team builder when I was checking stuff out. 252, Jolly, 172. Yep, so we outspeed by 1 point, which is just fine. Volt Switch Thunderbolt. Like I said, Shadow Ball's there. It hits the Victini really nice. Victini is actually the only thing that I think it does hit, but it's okay because we're mainly going to be going for Thunderbolts and Volt Switches once those 2 are down. And then we have the obvious Hidden Power Ice for that Zygarde in order to take it out. And that's exactly why I can't be choiced. What I really want to do is bluff the choice, have him switch into Zygarde, and then have me go for Hidden Power Ice. But that's going to be after Electabuzz is down if he brings it. So a bit situational. After the Zygarde is down, after the Electabuzz is down, honestly, Mayhem wrecks shop on his team, outspeeding everything barring Choice Scarf users, hitting stuff super hard for Thunderbolt. That Mega Blastoise is not going to know what hit him. Literally, he's going to know that it hit. I mean, he can live with Thunderbolt. I do know that. I remember Mega Blastoise living a Thunderbolt, so I got to be careful about that. Our final Pokemon is our specially defensive wall. We have our physically defensive wall, Milotic. We have an Intimidator that hits really hard on top. We have another Intimidator that hits really hard in Granbull. We have a lot of physical attackers this week. We have three physical attackers, and then 2 special attackers in Sakura and Mayhem. And then our final Pokemon is this Rufus here with Leftovers, Stealth Rock, Defog, Toxic, and Transform. I'm bringing back the Transform Mew. I feel like it'll be really good for us to have this. If I think he's going to be switching into Zygarde for some reason, or a Victini even, I wouldn't mind transforming that, bluffing a Scarf, but I'm really not going to bluff Scarf because this is our Stealth Rock user. This is a specially defensive wall Stealth Rock user. I don't know why you don't have max HP. You're on something special today. And it's here to defog as well. If rocks come up on my side of the field, I got to get rid of them. His Stealth Rock users are Fortress and Registeel. I think I didn't say Registeel before, but Registeel can also set up rocks. So I think that's why I think he's going to bring Registeel and Golbat. He might lead with Registeel. If he does, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Because, well, if we lead in a world where he leads Registeel, I mean, I could just lead Toph almost every time. It's Choice Scarf. It's got Intimidate. It'll do really well against almost anything on his team. If he leads Fortress, shoot, I had to just go for a U-turn, go out into Legoer, just because it's my Fire Fang user. I have nothing for Fortress. No, I just go out into Mayhem. I just go into Mayhem and click probably Shadow Ball. No, I'd go into Sakura and click. I would probably go into Sakura and just click Scald, try to get a burn on something. Even if he wants to go into Mega Blastoise, a burn on that would be great. And I know that I can take the Mega Blastoise on just by going for some Mirror Coats. But yes, Toxic is there as well. I'd like to Toxic as many things as possible. He only has 2 immunities to Toxic in Fortress and in the, 3, I'm sorry, Golbat, Fortress, and Registeel. So depending on what he brings, we'll have to play around those. But I'm very much fine with going for Toxic over Will-O-Wisp. I don't need to burn the Zygarde because I just want to destroy the Zygarde's life. I'm not going to try to burn it. I just want to kill it with an Ice Beam from Sakura or Hidden Power Ice from Mayhem. And I can take one. Sakura versus Zygarde is fine. Sakura's just so good. I can't express how good Sakura is. But yes, and then our final move, Transform. You guys know what the deal is with that. We transform, get some new Pokemon. Hopefully against something that we are slower, we could take a hit, transform, and then work on the speed tie. That would be awesome. I would also love to transform a Zygarde that's trying to go for a Coil or something like that. Get all those stats boost, and then we just have to try to win the speed tie, which will be a lot of fun, of course. But it is what it is. That's going to be our team. This is the most important match of the season because if we lose this, I'm pretty sure we're not making playoffs. There's still a chance, but all the pieces would have to fall in place. However, if we win this, we are guaranteed playoffs. So I definitely need your support. Please show some shady love to that thumbs up for this video and come out tomorrow for our match against the Carolina Keldeos, JYT Gamer, and see if we are going to be making the playoffs the very first season of the UCL. I love you guys so much. I'm going to get the heck out of here. Have yourselves a good day, but above all else,